Hello community and welcome to my top 5 list of best locations and suits that we need to see next. At the number 5 spot we have a circus with an amusement park as well. And I mean the accident kills are writing themselves, I don't even have to say anything. But especially in Hitman it would be so much fun going around in a circus. And also, just like Miami, it would be great to have those sort of very overpopulated areas here and there, but also have some areas that are a little bit more quiet. You know, maybe those trespassing areas a little bit more sort of stealth-like. And I would really go all out to have a very dark tone, like the Circus of Strange in Gotham, or one of those like Meat King missions back in Hitman contracts. Make it dark, make it greedy, like they're kidnapping people, they're selling people in the market, whatever the fuck, they're human traffickers. Make it fucking dark, man. That's something Hitman has been missing so desperately in the recent games. It's been very fruity balloony, in my opinion. And for the targets, this is what I will do for the targets. 4 targets, you have to kill the magician, he's the main target. And for the other 3 targets, you can kill all of them if you want, but you only need to kill one of them. So that way you have to kill the magician every single time, he's the main target, and then you can choose between the other 3 targets which one you want to kill. You don't have to kill all 4 of them. And what that would do is it would allow you so much freedom of approach because you have your main target, you gotta kill him every time, but then you can choose. Maybe the acrobat is more out front, she's with the people, etc. So she has a lot of accident kills you can do, but because she's so up front, it's not as easy to isolate her. But for example, the Pyroman could be different. He could be maybe doesn't like people, so it's very easy to isolate him, but it's not as easy to get an accident kill or whatever. And the Animal Wrangler can be something in between. It would allow a lot of freedom of approach, and what it will also allow is just to have replayability, which is something Hitman has been missing, especially back in 2016. Replayability was not something I thought of, but this is a great way, in my opinion, to do it. And for a suit, this suit, the Black Parade suit I created a couple days ago, I think this is a very cool suit. I think this would fit the map perfectly. It's inspired heavily by Mr. Giggles from Marrakesh, but I really think this suit would fit perfectly, even now in Hitman 3. It's such an interesting suit, it's dark, it's a little mysterious, and maybe you can give him something like a retractable cane, an Alito Melee, just something interesting and gimmicky like that, just to break the reskins, give him something new, even if it's not the most useful thing in the world. Just to have something that's not a reskin would be cool. But even if they do none of it, just having a circus on its own, in my opinion, in a Hitman game would be very interesting. It will be very fun. In my opinion, it's one of the best locations you can add. At the number 4 spot, we have an airport. In my opinion, that's the perfect location for a Hitman map. There's so much things you can do. It's perfect for suit only also. You can access most of the map suit only, but only there's like a couple of areas where you can't. And for this map also, what I would do is I would have some sort of a time limit because it's an airport. There's an airplane that's gonna fly by, the targets are gonna get away, and maybe you can reach the control tower and you can delay the flight, or you can maybe even cancel the flight somehow. That would be very interesting to do. And also, if you're crazy enough, maybe have some accident kill where you just straight up destroy the airplane, just like Viktor Novikov in Paris, where you drop all the chandelier shit on everybody and kill everybody, like you just destroy the whole plane. I don't know. But there's a lot of things you can do, and just like Miami, it's populated, but not too much. And also, it's one of those things where different areas, like for example in Miami, you can access everywhere except the racetrack. Here, you'll be able to access everywhere except the runway, and that will be fine by a lot of players because you don't need to access the runway necessarily. It's not that big of a deal, and you can still do a lot of great things. And in my mind, the targets, this is what I would do. It's a very classic sort of Hitman scenario. You have the insider, someone who steals inside information. He wants to give it to a buyer, a poacher, and basically they're trying to exchange it. And you need to take the briefcase, which is a side target. And the good thing about being a briefcase is if it falls, like a guard can pick it up or it can be moved around. It doesn't have to be in the hands of one of those 2 guys. Maybe it can be picked up from somewhere else. Maybe he puts it in a secure location, whatever. But it gives you more variety on how to deal with the briefcase. And then for the suit, this is the Rush Hour suit. In my opinion, this is one of the best suits that we never had. It's such a simple suit to think about. I cannot understand how IO never realized that this is a suit that can be done, and it's a great suit. It's pretty much as basic as you can go, but it's perfect for this particular mission. It's a perfect casual suit, in my opinion. But again, even if you do none of it, an airport, perfect location for Hitman, and it's one of the absolute best you can do. At the number 3 spot, we have a prison. It's fully hostile, but because of that, you have to make sure the freedom of approach is amazing. That's one thing that IO thankfully has got good recently with Hitman 3. They've shown they know how to do freedom of approach. And make no mistake about it, a prison would be an amazing map for Hitman, especially if done properly with a nice, good old-fashioned freedom of approach where you can like enter from different places, different scenarios, maybe give you more entry points, so that way you'll be able to sort of choose your approach and choose different strategies and stuff like that. But if a prison is done well, it can be just amazing. And for the targets, I think one target is enough, just the warden himself. Maybe you have something like the evidence as a side target, find the evidence he's hidden, or just make sure the prisoner, just like Arthur Edwards, is not eliminated in the Owl's Gale, make sure he's not killed. Don't kill him. But the mission stories in a prison would be amazing. I mean, anything to a full-blown riot. You can have some really, really fun times with a prison-type map. And with the warden, again, as a target, you do have to be careful. You have to make sure maybe he goes for a late-night check, so he goes around the prison. And maybe there's a bunch of accident kills you can do because of that. Or maybe some sort of a phone call to get him back into the office, to isolate him. You do have to be sort of creative in the way of making this map. But honestly, I think a prison map in Hitman can have a lot of potential. I think you can do some really amazing things. And as far as the suit, this is the suit that I came up with. It's the Night Hunter suit. It's a tactical suit, but it's more sort of this cat burglar vibe to it. I think it's very creative. It's not just another wetsuit like they've been giving us. It's not that difficult to make, as you see. It's more of a hoodie with gloves, some tactical pants and stuff like that, some boots. But in my opinion, it's a very good looking suit. Even if they do none of it, still, I think a prison type of scenario, especially something like an Alcatraz, it's very difficult to escape, would be very, very interesting. At the number 2 spot, I have a ski resort, and it's actually the exact opposite of Hokkaido. I know you love your snowy maps, and that's, in my opinion, a very good idea to have another one. But this time, very open areas, very open to exploration without necessarily being worried about trespassing all the damn time. Also, it allows for tons of accident kill possibilities. There's so much things you can do in this type of scenario. Also, you can add a polar bear if you like. I mean, there's so many things that can be done. Maybe have like a hotel, but just like Bangkok, but except smaller and much better for traversal. And then the rest is sort of like open areas. You have your mountains, you have snow, maybe you have a snowstorm or not. It really depends on how you want to set up the mood of the game. But a ski resort definitely has a lot of possibilities. It has a lot of really cool things that you can sort of create and do. And it overall, in my opinion, would work just perfectly for a Hitman game. It is one of those locations that is a little out there. It's a little bit more creative and original. And for the targets, I would do something like this. I would do 2 targets. You have your main target and then you have a side target. And it's one of those things where it's like, just like the Envy escalation, where you're battling another assassin, you both have to kill the main target. So maybe there can be something there where it's like, you have to kill him. If he is able to get to her first, then maybe you have to kill him, then he becomes the main target or whatever. It can be something like that, a little bit more interesting, a little bit more unorthodox, for lack of a better term. And for a suit, it's very basic. I chose to create some sort of an Arctic tactical suit. I think this looks pretty decent. It's nothing too out of the ordinary, but it's just, you know, your regular tactical Arctic suit that I think looks pretty decent. And yeah, overall, in my opinion, a ski resort would be phenomenal, and I am sure I would do great on that particular type of map. At the number 1 spot, I would have a cruise ship. In my opinion, a cruise ship is an excellent location for Hitman. It's something we've never seen before. It will add a lot of variety, and especially if done well, can be a lot of fun. The accident kills are writing themselves. Maybe you can even have one accident kill where you sink the whole ship, throwing people overboard. I mean, you name it. There's a lot of fun things you can do. There's a lot of really cool Easter eggs you can add. There's a lot of really great mission stories that you can create on a cruise ship. There's so many sort of things that can be made. There's so much drama that can be created on these particular places. And also, it can be excellent for traversal because most of it you should be able to sort of manage. But, you know, every here and there with some good traversal, you can get past trespassing areas and stuff like that. And also, when it comes to targets, this is what I'll do. 2 targets, very simple. Maybe they're on the run for some heinous crimes, some sort of criminals, armed robbery that went south or whatever the fuck. So maybe because they're paranoid, they're sort of willing to get rid of one another. And because of that, you can sort of turn the tides against one another. One can kill the other or whatever the fuck. That would be interesting. Especially on a cruise ship, that would be kind of fun. And when it comes to isolation, maybe one is more outgoing and one is more sort of capable of accident kills, while the other one is maybe more private or whatever. But I would love to also have some different ways of maybe being able to change them around, maybe being able to flirt with the female target, and maybe because of that, the male target gets jealous and kills her, or maybe the opposite, whatever the fuck. There's a lot of fun things you can do, is what I'm saying, pretty much. And also for a suit, this is what I would give 47. A legendary ICA suit is what I called it. It's a bit of a reskin, I know, but it's red and black. It's really good colors. I think, in my opinion, when he's on the top of the ICA, he's just shooting people left and right. This is a suit that would fit him perfectly. But yes, this is my locations. This is what I think, in my particular opinion, would make phenomenal locations for a next Hitman game. Because they're original for the most part. They're stuff that has never been done before. Also, the suits are original, stuff that hasn't really been done before. It would be just add a fresh coat of paint, if you will. And also, I do want to hear from you guys. What do you think? What do you want to see added? What location do you want to see? What suits do you want to see? Let's let IU know, you know, let's be vocal about what we want, because clearly they have a hard time hearing, so we might as well be open about it. And please, if you enjoyed the video, do press that thumbs up, subscribe for more content. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time for a 100% competition review of Sapienza.